I need to filter my YouTube, okay? And I have to finally move on from ever watching any house clips. No, I'm sorry. I just read my chat. I'm so sorry. Not house clips. Game of Thrones clips. What was the point of this? The Valerian steel sword, and then it's the only time somebody beats a White Walker in combat. By the way, no, Sam doesn't fucking count, okay? And then, look, and the guy even sees it. Wait, where's the King White Walker, dude? Where is it? Where is it? Show him. Show him. Ugh, they're not going to. But the White Walker even looks, and he's like, oh, shit. And when he's looking, he's like, wow. He's like, we're going to have an epic final battle. I can tell, because you are a Song of Ice and Fire. It's you, Jon Snow. You are the one. Look, see? He's like, oh, I'm going to have to fight. He's like, oh, that's the series finale fight. It's going to be me and that dude. He knew it. He knew it here. Jon knew it here. All the viewers knew it here. They all knew. Also, wait. If they were turning all these babies into White Walkers, did all the White Walkers even show up in the final fight? Or did they all go into the garden to jerk off and come on Bran? Why weren't they fighting anywhere? Why were they just using the fucking zombie dudes?
Yes, they literally did exactly what you just said.
Wait, they did show up and fight and I just don't remember? Or they all jerked off on Bran?
They didn't really show up in the fight. They just kind of showed up to, you're right, come on Bran. That's literally
what was the point of turning all the babies into White Walkers then?
The show did not go into it. They were going to explain it in the prequel Blood Moon, which eventually got canceled because then HBO realized nobody really likes White Walkers anymore. So, yeah.
They canceled Jon Snow's show.
They also canceled that too. He recently came out about it and he said that they were trying really hard for over a year to come up with a good story, but they couldn't find anything good enough to really tell, so they just backed off out of it.
You make videos on Game of Thrones, right?
No, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Lord of the Rings, okay. Because I think the only reason I know that is because it popped up on my stupid fucking YouTube scroller feed and somebody with a YouTube voice, but it wasn't your channel, it was somebody else, okay.
No, Destiny, I do Game of Thrones content.
Oh, fuck you. Wait, maybe it was. Wait, did you make a video on this?
Probably not.
Or
no.
YouTube short on? Okay, then somebody else said, fuck you. Okay, yeah, I saw some YouTube short on this where they were like, Jon Snow came out and he talked about his shit being canceled.
Yeah, no, it's that was not me.
Wait,
because they never really explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we've spoken multiple times about Game of Thrones specifically.
No.
So
have we spoken about this?
About what specifically?
Did you think that the Battle of the Bastards was a good episode?
I thought it was a very good battle, but was that whole battle? See, I forgot now too because season 6 was such a terrible season. I think the first half of that battle was Daenerys, right?
What? No, we're thinking of something way different. I'm talking about when Jon Snow and the Wildling army or whatever, and his people, the Night's Watch, try to fight against like Ramsay Bolton when they're going back to Winterfell, I think.
Yeah, that's the Battle of the Bastards. Yeah, I thought it was a good battle, but the White Walkers didn't show up there.
No, but I'm asking if you thought it was a good episode.
Oh, yeah, no, the episode itself, because the first half I think is Daenerys fighting against the slavers, and that kind of sucked.
Sure.
But yes, that second
I'm
half,
sorry, hold on.
Battle of the Bastards was great.
Let me be more clear. Okay, fuck you. You said enough to say fuck you. Okay, my bad. Okay. I'm not speaking clearly. I didn't like that battle. Okay. Because I felt like the themes and the evolutions and the directions of the characters really past season 4 all became nonsensical bullshit. Okay. So, yes. For example, if you look at the setup to that battle, okay, one assumption that I would make, and I understand there's a tons of different ways you can write a character, you do stories, that's fine, right? So I don't have to have the only one, but Jon Snow, when he left Winterfell, okay, this was like a young boy who was like pure of heart and fucking was so, sad that his mom didn't like him, but he looked up to Ned, right? We agree, right? He's like probably like one of the most like pure of heart kind of boys in like the North, right? Do we kind of agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now he goes to the Night's Watch and he does all of his shit, and man, he learns, he falls in love with a crazy chick that tries to kill him, gets killed. He gets killed by his own fucking dudes. He leaves the Night's Watch, okay? Radically changed character, all right? I thought I would have half expected that when they tried to bait with is it Riddar? What was the stupid kid that nobody gives a fuck about? Rickon, yeah. I thought that they would try to bait with Rickon. I thought Jon would have turned his back and he would have been like, listen, I know I'm being baited. I know that this is some bullshit. I'm not going to fall for Ramsay's tricks. And he would have died. It would have been sad, but it would have shown like, oh, John's grown and changed or whatever as a character. But he didn't. He ran forward. His whole army gets fucked. He learns nothing. He's like the Jon Snow in that battle is the exact same Jon Snow from episode 1, season 1 of Game of Thrones. And it feels like every other character around him has grown up or evolved in some way. Sansa ends up bailing out, who's changed dramatically. I hated that. I feel like thematically, I just feel like it was a horrible payoff. And the fact that Ramsay loses in such a contrived way, that a magical huge army shows up that he had no concept or no idea of showing up, and then
I don't know. I maybe because I'm a Littlefinger stan. I love Littlefinger. They pretty much set up that the Vale army is coming to help because Littlefinger needs Sansa and he needs the North. They pretty much set that up quite nicely. So I don't think it was that contrived. But
well,
I see what you're saying
why?
about Jon.
I mean, like in terms of contrived, I mean, like obviously you would have seen a massive fucking cavalry horseback army coming, right? Like that's not just gonna happen. Like usually in Game of Thrones, even in the early seasons, even if they didn't show the fights, they at least talk about like feints that we moved an army one way to go another way, and we did this because of that. Like they spoke about that. But here it was just like, yeah, we're just gonna go fuck this dude's shit up because he has no idea, and then boom.
No, I see your point. And what you were saying earlier about the Night King, everyone did expect Jon and the Night King to fight. And I read the making of the show, the book, the making of the Game of Thrones show. And if I remember correctly, their mentality here was they wanted to like somewhat subvert expectations by having Arya do it instead, which was also incredibly dumb. Even the actress herself did not like that. So when she was reading it at the table read, so because everyone was expecting Jon to do it, and I think, in my opinion, I think it should have been Theon that should have killed the Night King, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about
Oh, that would have been a way fucking edgier choice, but I don't think I would have liked it over Jon, but I would have respected that. Absolutely. What a culmination. Or even if they would have mutually, like Theon gets like the killing blow as the guy like, you know, stabs him or something, and he dies at the same time or something. It would have been a really good culmination of his arc and everything for sure. But sorry, go ahead.
100%. And I'll tell you why. Because the show kind of hinges on the prince that was promised prophecy. The prince that was promised, born amid Sultan smoke, you know, is going to do all this crap. Theon kind of fits that criteria. He was born on the Iron Islands, amongst Sultan smoke. He was technically the Prince of Winterfell. There's a whole episode title around it. It would have made more sense for him with his arc to kill the Night King, because the showrunners were kind of correct. They had to subvert expectations somehow, because Jon can't be the main character for every single thing.
Sure.
It has to do like the main final boss or anything. You got to give some of the other characters.
Hold on. No, okay, hold on. I hate this. I hate this fucking expression, okay? When you say subvert expectations, okay? Subvert expectations doesn't mean, okay, that you jerk off and the cum goes back inside your balls, okay? Subvert expectations means that there's tropes relating to, like, maybe fantasy or storytelling, and the audience might think due to certain tropes that an outcome might happen, and then holy shit, it doesn't. But that subversion doesn't happen because you have a wacky, random stuff happening. It happens because of intelligent writing. Like, for instance, a really good subversion of expectation, subversion of tropes, was Ned getting executed in season 1. Because Ned was a good guy who was doing the right thing, who was incredibly virtuous and noble, and he even was giving the queen time to escape. He did everything that a morally righteous, good character is supposed to do, and then he got killed? That's not supposed to happen in fantasy. That's a good subversion of trope, right? But it's not happening because of random, wacky stuff. It's intelligent writing.
No, I agree with you, but that's the phrase the showrunners use.
I know. I'm aware. Trust me. There's like a million free folk memes with them playing that. There's that quote. Do you know what the most legendary quote is? You know it. What is the most legendary quote from D&D?
She kind of forgot.
Yep. That was a good
right
subversion too. Yeah.
What's funny is right now we just ended the season 2 House of the Dragon Game of Thrones prequel, and a couple of decisions the new showrunners have not sat well with people, and I've noticed people are asking for Dave and Dan to come back, and it's just I don't understand how the Game of Thrones fandom is kind of becoming like the Star Wars fandom, in the sense where 15 years ago everybody hated George Lucas, but now that the sequel trilogy movies suck, they want George Lucas to come back. And it's kind of the same thing with Dave and Dan. Dave and Dan fucked this up, and now they want Dave and Dan to come back.
Well, I think it depends on, because there's probably different groups of people working, right? Because Like the story that I always give is I didn't want to watch Game of Thrones ever because one, I don't usually like knights and ponies and shit. I'm just not like a medieval guy, and I like science fiction more. And then two, because the way that everybody described it was so retarded. Like, oh, your favorite character died anytime. I was like, this sounds, who cares? This sounds like memey and stupid. And then I think I ended up binge watching it, and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. But the first 4 seasons of the show are markedly different than the last 4 seasons. The first 4 seasons are like, in my opinion, it's a well-written world with so much consequence that everything is connected everywhere. Daenerys, even on the other end of the world, is causing screaming matches between the king and his hand, right? Everything is connected. Right. But in the last 4 seasons, things move away from intelligent writing to becoming very tropish, right? In the first season, you can like and dislike every single person for a different reason. The most noble fucking Ned Stark has a fucking bastard kid, right? And you can't not love Jaime, even though he's like a cocky kind of piece of shit. And everybody just has their pros and their cons. Like the Lannisters are cool, the Starks are cool. They get, but in the last 4 seasons of writing, everybody goes their own separate way, right? Arya has no influence on the rest of the world for how many fucking seasons? Jon Snow is north of the wall. Bran is north of the wall for how many fucking seasons? None of them have any impact on each other whatsoever. And it all becomes incredibly tropish. Your bad guys go from being people like, Tywin Lannister to people like Ramsay Bolton. By the way, he's a real bad dude. Not only does he rape people, he has women and their children eaten by dogs, okay? Just so you know, he's really bad. And he flays children. He's real bad, right? And even like Arya, who, has this, like, I'm going to kill people. Like her wanting to kill the Hound, it's a pretty, okay, what does the Hound say? I was told to kill a dude, the king, I'm not here to question the king. And, but then the later people that Arya kills in the later seasons is, who is that one? Meryn Trant or whatever? That guy.
Meryn Trant and Walder Frey.
Yeah, those are real bad dudes, just so you know. And by the way, Trant is so bad, he beats and fucks not just prostitutes, but prostitutes, okay? Like, he's a real bad guy. It is like, holy shit. Everything is so tropish at the end. And then you got your plot armor, good characters, and it's just everything's so tropish and dumb. It's no surprise that by the end of Game of Thrones, you've brought in like the Lord of the Rings and the Star Wars fans, people that just want to see tropish fantasy. That's not surprising at all.
I keep forgetting to ask you this. Who is throughout the entire series? Oh, by the way, just to end what you were saying.
The answer is Oberyn, by the way, to your question, but go ahead.
Oberyn Martell, of course, classic choice. The books ended at season 5. When Jon Snow is stabbed and left for dead, that's when the last book ends. We've been waiting for 13 years. Sure. George kept telling the showrunners and HBO themselves, like, this could go on for 10 seasons. Yeah, well, motherfucker, you got to put something out so they can, keep the adapting. And I will give Dave and Dan this. They were amazing in the first few seasons. They adapted the shit out of it, and they fixed a lot of the problems with the books.
And a lot of the writing they did, a lot of the writing they did was original, right? A lot of the writing, I think, between Cersei and Robert, I don't think any of that was in the books, and that was some of the best.
Maester Luwin. Arya and Tywin was completely original. In the books, it's Arya and Roose Bolton, and they don't interact that much. But in the show, in season 2, Arya and Tywin, I think one of the best lines in the entire series of the franchise is when Tywin asks Arya about her father, what killed him, and she says loyalty. That's completely original.
All of that. And by the way, because now it's kind of cheating, because the real answer is every single scene with Tywin in it is good, okay? But every scene with Tywin and Arya was really good, yes.
Oberyn's a favorite character, really. You really like Pedro Pascal's Oberyn?
I just like the character. Because it's such a I think maybe in real life too. I like people with like a variety of traits, people that do a lot of different things. So I like that Oberyn he's a stark challenge to like the more kind of like uppity noble life of Westeros, right? Like he drinks, he's promiscuous, bisexual, okay? He's like an Eastern king, all right? He's got all these crazy things, but he's like a really good fighter. He's fearless when it comes to taking on the mountain. He's there for revenge for his sister, raped and murdered and killed her children. And I just think he's a really fucking baller fuck character, yeah. And his death also, by the way, is satisfying. It makes sense, right? He should have won, but he was so preoccupied and so obsessed.
Overconfident.
Yeah. No, not even overconfident. It was the obsession. No, his confidence was absolutely appropriate. He won. He destroyed the mountain, right? It was absolutely appropriate confidence, but he was obsessed with getting vengeance for his sister that had blinded him, and then he ends up dying as a result of that, right? So even his death is makes sense, is satisfying as much as you want to see him win.
By the way, real quick, I have to compliment you on the latest Bridges episode. You guys talk about Ukraine. That was pretty good. I quite enjoyed
was that with John Spencer?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
Cole did.
just finished it. It was great. You have any more people like that in the lineup?
I don't know. I'm not sure which ones have aired and which ones haven't, but we're working. We're working on always getting people. Yeah.
And I was trying to go back to your one of the earlier episodes with Ryan Macbeth, but I can't seem to find it on the Bridges channel. What happened to that video?
I mean, it should be on there.
No, I can't see it on here. Because Ryan Macbeth recently put out, I don't know if you saw it yet,
Mm-hmm.
Lies of 20 Project 2025, and yeah, I was just watching and I wanted to go back and rewatch the Ryan Macbeth one, but I can't see it here.
I wonder if I got hit by some weird copyright thing or something. I don't know. Huh. Oh no, wait. Bridges podcast episode 2 with Ryan Macbeth. Huh. Yeah, I don't know why you can't find it. Maybe you're just a fucking moron.
Probably. That's probably it. No, that's basically it, brother. Thank you very much, and for all you do regarding the Republican bullshit. Because I don't know how you handle it. I don't know how you handle people like Sean and Rob Nor. But no, thanks for everything you do, my man.
Yeah. Have a good one, buddy. Be careful.
Take care, brother.